Yes.
Okay. Ice cream. That helps. That's a great coping mechanism for me.
When I feel blocked, when I feel that the conflict has created something inside of me that I can't pick apart and work on separately inside myself, when I just don't know why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, I dance because it reaches to the deepest parts of me.
A way of coping is just by sitting there and experiencing it and letting it hit you right in the face.
I don't know, I just push myself through it. Let's see, when I get really stressed out, I guess, like for school, more specifically when school stresses me out, because that tends to happen with the sciences that I've been taking. I like to, I don't know, I guess I just kind of deal. I talk to my boyfriend about it, and he really just, has to dumb it down for me and put everything back into perspective, and that really helps. I guess I rely on him a lot for that, probably.
The first thing that normally happens is I heat up. My whole body heats up, and I feel as though I am a body of heat. And I tend to smile, actually, when I'm angry, initially, because I don't want to, like, say, blow up and yell and burn someone into, ashes.
Yeah. My primary coping mechanism, if I could use that word to describe it, would be simply a repaying of attention to what's happening.
I think for me, it's trying to figure out how to mediate my own personal emotions.
Because they tend to get the better of you in some way?
Because they can. Like, we have triggers. Like, sometimes someone might say something or do something, and it's not related to the moment. It's related to a history of moments.
Yeah.
Maybe it's related to my father, or maybe it's related to, I don't know, past lover or something. And so, if I don't want to be bringing in all that baggage, then I have to take a moment and decide how I want to be responsible with my words.
I see.
I think that most recently, a recent example I can use is, in order to get over my emotional feelings for another person, I am coping with the situation by telling myself that it is nearly certain that the other person does not share the same emotions you do for her at nearly the same level. Therefore, there cannot be something worth holding on to, so you should let go. This may be true, this may not be true, whether or not, say for example, this person X feels the same amount of passion or affection for me that I do for her. So by creating this system of this situation of imagining an imbalance of feeling for one another, I have to say that if this person must feel less, then I should also feel less in order to let this chapter or part of my life close and move on without any lingering speculation.
Mm-hmm.
That's one example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, would you like to?
I was going to ask you just a question about that. Sure. So you're saying that in this case, the way that helps you cope through this emotionally painful situation is reiterating that there's an almost near certainty that this person, as you say, does not reciprocate in the way that you do.
Yeah.
And that in some way you telling yourself this almost provides a context for which you can soothe yourself. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Because otherwise, I'm not sure how to manage and then act upon these feelings, because I don't feel that there's any practical way to do something about it.
Why must there be practicality in you sitting with what you're feeling?
Because the emotions feel so real for me that it feels like to let go of them would be a loss. But if I were to do anything otherwise, that would take overcoming probably fears of rejection and entering into a position of vulnerability that my thought and experience in life tells me will not end well. So these are ways to try and protect myself, I think.
As you're, using whichever coping mechanism suits you at the moment, and say in this case it's, reminding yourself of these aspects that you're saying that maybe she doesn't, reciprocate in the same way. Do you feel that you're in fact able to pay attention to what actually is going on with you if you're coping with it?
Most recently, I listened to Brendan have a dialogue with a good friend of his, and it's made me try and become aware of acknowledging my moment-to-moment, day-to-day feelings on the situation.
Yeah.
Which are changing, which do change. So I think I'm acknowledging it all the time, writing about it. But when it resurfaces and explodes almost, that's when I usually when I write after that, when I write after having that happen, that's when I have to go into those coping mechanisms. So I acknowledge it, and then I try and find a way to let it subside.
I think the key to me is to really experience it. Not to move away, just to really touch what's happening. Which is a really miraculous thing. I think there's one time when I was really upset in my life, and when I used to cry about things, I used to always go to the bathroom to cry. It would be like I don't know, I couldn't cry, be around people. I think I felt this, I should be in a different state. What I'm experiencing, I don't want other people to see. So I would go to the bathroom to cry, and I'd sit on the toilet and I'd start crying. And one particular time I was in Boston, and it was cold outside, and it felt like everything was closed. I felt very sad, and I was experiencing great sorrow at the time. And I was living in this kind of dormitory room, and everything seemed to shut off. So I went into the bathroom to cry, and the thought came out of me that I'm separate from life. It was just I didn't feel the life force. I felt like I was barren, and I was in a state of that type of inner barrenness. So I went into the bathroom and started to cry on the toilet, and these thoughts were moving through my mind. I'm separate. I feel so isolated. I feel so in pain. And this question came to me: well, where is life? Where is this life that I'm looking for? Where is this? Where is the happiness, or whatever you call happiness or life or aliveness that I was searching for? Because up until that point, I felt so cut off from it. So in that moment, I remember I was weeping, and just for a moment, realized what was happening. And when I say it like that, I found myself not being separate from the weeping. I was just weeping on this toilet, in this bathroom, in a hotel, and all of a sudden it became like this hilarious, life-affirming moment where I realized that I wasn't separate from life. I am life. I was sitting on this toilet thinking, like the whole time I was thinking, I'm separate from life. I'm feeling so down and in the dumps. And then I just like woke up to, how could I ever be separate from life? I am this life that I'm seeking. And in that moment, it was just something happened where I paid attention to whatever I was experiencing, to the sorrow, the pain that was there. It was like there was no movement away. It was just that. In its utter absurdity of the situation, but it was nothing other than that. And so that moment, it taught me that in any situation of life, if you are paying attention to what's happening, that and somehow your attention and energy is then there.
Completely.
And what happens in that, I don't know. It's always new. It's never something I can say.